This Argentine radio host will avoid criminal prosecution by discussing gender issues, because social justice has no power at all. Social justice can't change a damn thing. Oh my goodness, why are you complaining about social justice interfering in your lives and tyrannizing you on the fucking daily? I can't even imagine. So there's an Argentinian radio host called Angel, although I'm not going to try and pronounce his second name. He goes by the nickname Baby for some reason. He is facing criminal prosecution for allegedly sexist remarks, and has, instead of facing the time for his naughty words against feminists, but I mean, maybe he said them about women, I don't know, he decided to strike a deal with prosecutors so that once a week for 5 months he will have to host a specialist in gender issues on his show, and he will have to let them speak uninterrupted for 10 minutes with no room for criticism afterwards. Because that's the only way feminism can even fucking exist. When the law prevents people from fucking criticizing it. You are not allowed to have an opinion on feminism. We have to speak uninterrupted, and you're not allowed to say a damn thing afterwards, because otherwise we look like fucking idiots. Apparently his comments rose to a criminal offence in the first place when prosecutors were able to collect 8 pages of derogatory, insulting, offensive, degrading and discriminatory statements they had made. I like this guy already. But he said that his willingness to change led prosecutors to drop the criminal case in favour of this more creative solution, what we would otherwise call tyranny. The prosecutor said that he felt it was important for the listeners to be exposed to new voices. The idea promotes tolerance, he said. By force. We're going to force you to be tolerant. If you have something to say, how about you be quiet? And we'll force you to do that too. We will force you to do everything that we want to do. But we're not the tyrants. We're really pro-free speech. Just not hate speech. In addition to changing the content of his show, I'm sure that everyone's just fine with a government of a country telling a radio host what he must have on his show. I know I'm just fine with it because I'm a real liberal. Etchecopar fucking, I can't pronounce that name, reportedly had to issue a public apology and make a small charity donation as part of the deal. Man, I wouldn't have done that at all. If he violates the discrimination laws again within a year, the agreement will be terminated and he could be criminally prosecuted. What? There's nothing wrong with that. He said naughty words that feminists objected to, and now he's facing jail time for saying things that feminists objected to. The deal comes against the backdrop of a larger debate about sexism, feminism, and women's rights in Argentina. I fucking bet it does. Seems that we can't get away from this debate, doesn't it? Seems like we can't just get on with our goddamn lives. Apparently, an Argentinian show called Intrusos became an unexpected platform for discourse about feminism and women's issues in the lead up to the vote on a bill legalizing abortion. Apparently, George Real, the host, refers to himself as a recovering misogynist. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I realise the context in Argentina might be completely different to the context in my country, and there may well be, I mean, these guys may well be openly misogynist, but I'm sorry, like, having the court dictate that you have to have feminists on your show and you're not allowed to interrupt or criticize them, that's way beyond the bounds of what's reasonable in my opinion, regardless of how unbelievably misogynist this guy was. Apparently he used to call feminists disgusting. I don't really know what the problem with that is. Feminists are disgusting, both morally and physically. He apparently called feminists feminazis. They're not feminazis at all, but you just have to do what they say. You have to have them on your show, and you're not even allowed to criticize them, but they're certainly not Nazis. He called them disgusting people, which clearly they are. Anyone who would go along with this is a disgusting person in my opinion. He has been charged with disrespectful, insulting, denigrating, and discriminatory outbursts against women. I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was just put them all back in the kitchen. I'm sure he was terrible. Let's just assume the very worst. He was unbelievably bad. I mean, they're not telling me what he said, apart from things that he said that weren't wrong in any way, shape, or form. But we'll just assume that he is every bit the misogynist they claim to be. But the best bit about this is the way that the media in this country is framing it. He is punished by having feminists on his show every day. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Because having a feminist on your show every day undoubtedly would be a punishment. And a severe one at that. Imagine having to listen to these harpies tell you how oppressed they are as you are forced to listen to them and you are forced to prevent yourself from criticizing them. But they are the ones who are oppressed here. Not you. Not you who's been court-ordered because of the naughty words you've said to host these people. It's not you that's being oppressed. It's them. They're the victims here. It's not you that's being oppressed. It's the feminists. They are the victims of your oppression. While they have their boot on your neck, they are the victims of you. Do you understand your position in the world? So I've looked at a bunch of these articles, and I can't find any actual quotes from him other than he called feminists feminazis and disgusting. And again, I mean, sure, you can say that's offensive, but that seems to have been the point.